Hey, it's the MorrowMarriage podcast where we were real, raw, uncensored, unscripted, and
anointed.
Okay, guys, you need to shut this down immediately.
I'm so excited.
This is a great tool, but like all the tools, we have our own twist. Validation versus keeping the peace. Why you need to stop talking about sex if you're not having sex. That it is the man's fault. Marriage sucks. I'm Cass.
I'm Kathryn. You go in and you lay a boundary without connection, it breeds more disconnection.
Why are you in this messy marriage? And it's not what you think.
Don't do that, because then that is not authentic. That's fake, and you're trying to be somebody that you're not.
You need the foundation to have the intimacy, but right now you need to rebuild the foundation.
We're MorrowMarriage.
Let's flip divorce statistics with the new marriage.
Because I never know what you're going to say. What are we shutting down? Probably shutting down anybody that says that we can't have a baby Highland cow. Yeah, is that it?
Hands down. But that's not what we're going to talk about today. Okay. So if you don't know yet by now, we call it the new marriage because we have a lot of rules that we put in place. In the systems that we teach, there's kind of rules in the background around them, okay? And we give, I don't know if you do, in my program, I give like a list of things that you might not agree with, but I'm telling you to fucking do it because you're not winning in your marriage, and we not only win, but we save a lot of people and they win, okay? What we're going to talk today about is simple. Tunnel vision.
Oh, tunnel vision. Yes, this is exciting.
Okay. What do I mean by tunnel vision? Well, it's, okay, here's
Can I?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So when I was younger, this came from my sister who said, and I used to go by Katie when I was little. Katie has tunnel vision when she's in a relationship. And what she meant by that is that when I'm with someone, I don't see anyone else. All I see is that person. And she brought it up again when I met my husband. And it's so true. I have that level of loyalty. I have tunnel vision. Now, I think something that's really important is that some people will think that's a little bit unrealistic. And although I always had it, things happen in your life. Things happen in situations where that tunnel vision might expand. And people will tell you it's normal. It's okay to look. It's okay to think about other things. It's okay to watch porn. It's okay to do all these things.
Oh, what's the get out of jail free card or whatever? Like the celebrity you get to be with.
the hall pass. It's called a hall pass.
Yeah.
And so there's all these things that society believes that will convince you that tunnel vision is not where you're supposed to be. So we were talking actually just this morning. This is why this is so exciting to me, because we were talking about this morning about how what we have seems unattainable because of the way that we value each other and the way that we value marriage. But here's the thing. It's not unattainable. It's intentional, because we all get temptations. And when you have those temptations, you need to reel it back in. And like this episode says, you shut it down. So women, if you see a good looking man, people will tell you, you can look, there's no problem with looking. No, there is a problem with looking, because if it invokes lust, turn your eyes away. We believe when it comes to bodies, we like to admire fitness. And so if you can admire someone's physical work and you're not feeling attracted to that person, I believe that that's okay. We are in the fitness world and nutrition. We do all those sorts of things. I believe it's okay to notice, hey, somebody worked really hard on that body. Okay. That's a lot different than invoking lust. But when you're talking about tunnel vision and you're looking and you're feeling a certain way, it's feeling it, you know what? It's okay. It's natural, but you need to shut it down. Right, baby?
100%. You guys, like, especially men will get called out for this, right? Well, we're animals and of course we look okay, but here's the thing. It's a choice, it's an absolute choice to make sure that when you see something that you find attractive, you turn it back to who you actually want to be with. You must. Insecurity comes up for everybody. Let's just get real. Some people can manage it very well, and some people, like I used to be, could not manage it, okay? But if you're allowing yourself to look, then your partner's automatically going to feel something when they start to see it. Excuse me. So
tell them your example from this morning.
So there's a really good looking guy at CrossFit. You get super fit. He was working out and he's good looking guy. He's got tattoos. He's getting a little bigger than me. I still get insecure all the time. I can just turn it off, right? My first thought was, I think I even did, was look at Kathryn to see where she's looking and then go fuck whatever.
And was I looking?
No, you weren't.
I don't even know who he was talking about.
Actually.
We go to a CrossFit gym, so there's a lot of people that are really fit. but I'm not staring at any single, sometimes I stare at the women. If I see, because it's so impressive to me. Some of these women are so strong. I make it my intention not to stare at the men. I will look because it's impressive to see someone lifting something that's 4 times what I weigh. That's impressive to me.
Mhm.
I notice our trainer has calves the size of my whole body. I notice his calves. I'm not looking at him thinking, oh my gosh, he's so sexy. Any of those things, just the same way that Cass would notice a fit woman and be like, wow, she worked hard for that body. So
I actually have a story about that. I was with a bunch of men. I've only been to a strip club a handful of times when I was young. And one time I went there, this stripper had a really nice body. And I said, wow, she works hard for that body. Because I was in fitness. I could tell she worked hard. Man, did they judge. They were talking about all the things they wanted to do and all like, well, and then they're down there doing whatever people do at those clubs. But like, come on, man. I get it if you can appreciate men and women. Actually, what we do most often is even if you're talking about their clothes, right? You'll be saying, did you see that dress? And I'm like, actually, I was looking at that guy's
oh yeah, if we're
suit.
watching TV, I'll see a dress that looks really beautiful, and I'll say something about the woman, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, did you see that? And he's like, no, I was just admiring the tie he was wearing. And I'm like, I didn't see the tie because I was looking at her dress. I was looking at how fit her legs were. And so oftentimes we are looking at this, we're looking at the same sex, admiring something in someone else in the same gender. Purposefully, I want you guys to pick that up because it's really, I'm using air quotes right now. If you're not watching on YouTube and you're listening on a podcast, it's normal to look at the opposite sex. People will tell you it's okay. It's okay to look. Everybody looks. Everybody feels that. No, everybody doesn't. It's natural. The feeling that you get when you see something like that is natural. I'm going to use like Rolodex example. Yeah. Okay. So I was at a Bible study when I was in my early 30s. We had just gotten married. And it was a woman's Bible study. And I don't know what the Bible study was about, but we ended up on this conversation about men, about women and modesty, and about men and the Rolodex that they have in their mind and how difficult it is for a man. And I'm not saying that it's not difficult for you women, but what I am saying is that it is more difficult for men. Men were built differently than women. Men in general want and need more sex than women. Men are more visual. This is why men want to watch their wife walk around naked with everything flapping around.
All the time.
Women don't. Women don't. We don't want to see everything flapping around. We want to see, I like him in a towel. I like him in his underwear. Men like women just seriously 100% naked, spread eagle on the couch. That's attractive to them.
That's awesome.
It's not for a woman. So men are more visual. They have different needs, different desires. And this is just in general. I know there were women that need and love those things, right? And I mean, in the right context, that's okay. That's fine. But you do you. But men, in the Bible study, we talked about how men have a Rolodex in their mind and how it's out of their control. The Rolodex could pull something. It's called intrusive thoughts. And women have these too. You could think of something and see something in your mind that you do not want to think about. And sometimes it can be something that sometimes I have intrusive thoughts. I'm like, whoa, where did that come from? I would never think that. Not necessarily about anyone or anything like that. You guys have all had intrusive thoughts. You know what I mean when something like, let's just say eating poop. Why? No, honestly, why would you think about eating poop? I would never eat poop. This is my point though. It's funny, right? Yeah. It's my point. You think of something that you would never do, that you would never want to think about, but it comes into your mind and you're like, ugh, get out. It doesn't mean you're a weirdo. I mean, maybe I'm a little weird. I would never eat poop, but do you know what I mean? So you can think about those thoughts and you need to ask those thoughts to leave. So in that same way, men have this internal Rolodex in their mind where they will store things from years ago. It could be from a magazine. It could be something they saw in real life, another partner, another experience, an intrusive thought that's not real. And the Rolodex can come at any point. And it's from my understanding, it's worse for men than it is for women. So knowing that means that you have to be so purposeful and so intentional when these thoughts creep in to shut them down. You don't have to go down that path. Just because the door opens doesn't mean that you need to walk through it, right, baby?
Yeah, 100%, babe. There's 2 things you need to think about. One, if you have the intrusive thought, where are you going? Let's think about it. So we deal with a lot of sexless marriages, okay? So if one of you or both of you are not satisfied, those intrusive thoughts lead to what? Bad things like affairs.
Sometimes it's not just a thought, it can lead to an action.
That's right.
If you don't shut it down.
That's right. Now, there's the flip side, and it's what we really believe, that you can be there for your partner. Why would you want your partner to wonder what you're looking at, who you're talking to, especially if you start building on this, guys. Okay, forget looking now. All right, let's actually talk about, most couples that we deal with, there's a certain level of broken communication, yelling, defensiveness, fighting all the time, super abusive, whatever. Okay. Well, where else do these intrusive thoughts lead to? And the not having tunnel vision, safety with someone else, the emotional connection is different, things like that. So if you combine them both, now you're allowing it to happen. And this is where the people have such, but I was just talking to somebody at work. We just had to do, no, man, shut that fucking shit down. Talk about work and that's it. That's it. We save marriages for a living. We get DMs of the opposite sex trying to get us to hook up with them.
It's gross.
Disgusting. Some of them are swingers, some are just trying to do affairs. I don't know. There's enough people out there that are letting this shit happen. You have to just shut it down. Whether it's an emotional start, whether it's a visual start, you shut this down and you turn back to your partner. And yes, I understand it's hard if you're fighting. I understand if you haven't had sex in a while. I understand if you just want to kiss and you can't get one.
Yeah.
I get it. And I love you. I understand. But who are you? Like, where do you want to go with this? Do you think any of that's going to help you?
Who do you want to be? So
Yeah.
I was going to interject and say it's hard when your husband is acting like a jerk.
Mhm.
When someone else is being nice to you and you want to just innocently go down that path, it doesn't stay innocent. We all
Same
know.
with men. The number one thing, the last man I talked to, he said, it was just so nice to feel validated. That's inner work that you need to do. You shouldn't need that from somebody else. It's the beautiful byproduct, is how Kathryn puts it. Okay? So shut that shit down right now and go get your life.